Okay, this is where it gets interesting. We got to have land payments, because it's however we're buying this, whether it's bought through a bank or bought on land contract, we're going to have our monthly payments that we have to make. We're also included in that area. We're going to have our taxes. Another reason why this area is really good, we pay for this piece of land and everything we have on this less than $500 a year in taxes. Okay, that's what we're paying here in Lawrence County. It's a fairly low tax rate compared to what people are paying in cities. Oh my God, you're paying how much for this little tiny thing? Dude, out here, they can just, they're cool. You get homestead exemptions because of your first few years. If you go talk to the ladies that run this stuff down at the thing and tell them about your solar shit, they'll give you solar tax credits and all that shit. It's like amazing what you can get, you know, and stretch out of them if you just go talk to them and find out what's available. But we'll have to make land payments, taxes, and the other big one there is insurance. I don't know shit about it, insurance. We ran Lothlorien for years without any insurance, okay, at all. We just had a waiver at the gate when you came in, and we had, it was one paragraph. We learned very quick, don't do a sheet of paper for each person.
That won't
just
work
put
anymore.
it, I know, but all it shows in court is that the person was previously aware that there was a risk.
Yeah.
That can help if you do get sued for something, you know, because they're saying, I'm not suing you, blah, 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 because I'm aware of what's going on. But we'll still have to have some sort of insurance, and it'll be hefty. There's no way we're going to get around that. And that's going to take a lot of research on how to pull that off right. Another major expense is infrastructure construction. Oh, by the way, land payments, taxes, and insurance, that's 45% of what's coming in the door. Once that's paid for, then that 45% still exists, because once the land's paid for, but that then goes into funds for the next place. So that's the highest percentage of anything where it goes. Okay, then the next area is 15% of what comes in goes to infrastructure, construction, and maintenance. Any buildings, anything, our trenches, our swales, our anything that we have to work on, gravel for the road, etc. You know, when you have high traffic in a place over and over again, you find out how quickly gravel will just sink into the ground and disappear. You know, and how many times you have to actually gravel, how many years till finally you have a road. Then you look at how they excavated the Roman roads, and some of these things are like 8 foot thick. Oh, got it. You know, it's like it takes a long time to build up. The ground will just swallow it. So that's 15%. Business, under business would be promotions, operating expenses, supplies, event medical team. You have to have somebody on 5,000 person event. You better have somebody from that has licensed EMT service available. They're on, you know, they're probably on site, so that, you know, we may have our own medical first aid lit stuff going on, but you still have to have an EMT on site to deal with it if there's some real problem.
Is this specifically for festivals or for the land in general?
For well, land in general and the festivals are, to me, are one thing. But yeah, if you're throwing events and you're doing this, you have to have the EMT.
Yeah, it's a big
site.
first aid tent.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We can have our own, but you still have to have and
that's what I'm
like
saying.
the ambulance service, somebody who's recognized by the outer world as, you know, we can have our own medical. All of us on the crew should have basic training. We should give ourselves all the basic training, so in emergency, right on the spot, you can do the Heimlich maneuver or whatever it takes. You know how to bandage somebody enough to stop the bleeding temporarily. But if there's any kind of real problem, we can't deal with that. The system's we're gonna have somebody who's licensed to do that. So that's part of the expense. Yes, Gary.
Can ownership of the land somehow be separate from the institution that's
I
running
will-
the
I will-
festivals?
I
so
will
that, so
get
that,
to
so that
there.
even if we
Yeah.
get sued for a lot of money or something, the land will always be all ours
I
because
will,
we're,
yes, and I
you know,
will get
interlocking director. And,
totally
yeah.
into that. I'll get to that for sure. Because yes, then so promotions and operating expenses. Operating expenses are things like we need radios between everybody. If you're working on there, we're all security, we're all medical, we're all responsible for our job. We have to be able to communicate with each other. So that's going to be a basic expense. You have basic expenses like printer ink. You know, what happens when your computer dies, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, that kind of stuff. And promotions is the biggest chunk of that. Promotions are not cheap. There are certain tricks to get the promotion of, say, like if you want a headline in a newspaper, you can't say, "Hi, we're throwing this event. Can you give us an article?" They will not give you an article. They'll say, "Buy an advertisement." But if you go out and take a couple of your buses that or whatever, and go out create a traffic jam, and your logos are all the buses, you will be on the in the newspaper for creating a traffic jam. In fact, a couple bands have deliberately used that technique. You know, where you just go to the city circle and cause a traffic jam, and you bam.
Oh
you're
no,
out.
my bus overheated.
Yes. You create a news item and you can get free press. So there's lots of tricks that we can utilize to get free press, but we're still going to have to do a hell of a lot of our own promotion. When you look into now, all the festivals have these little color flyers. It's kind of a standardized thing, and at every festival there's everybody else's festivals advertised and stuff, and you'll buy them in 10,000 lots, you know, printing of it, and it's not too much, but it's a couple $1,000 per event, you know, that goes straight into the promo of that event. Once we get rolling, word of mouth will take over, because that's how it usually works anyway. But at first, promotion will be a major thing. You know, we may have to buy some radio time and have, you know, "Hey, tonight at blah, blah, blah," you know, kind of thing, you know.
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we'll have our own systems, so we can create our own studio shit, you know, but we're still have to pay for that time. So that's 15%, or 10% for the promotions, operating expenses, supplies, medical teams. Main stage entertainment, 10%. Now I did also I got figures here, and it's also printed in the Facebook group for this. But I've figured did some preliminary figures of all this. You know, how much it costs for tickets, blah, blah, how many people, what does that total up per event. So basically, if we have a full-on event with 5,000 people coming to it, that 10% of that is $37,500. Okay, and that's how much we got to pay the entertainment. If you have $37,500, you can pay for almost anything you want except a big band. Big bands want way more than that alone a piece now.
God, what if we
all
just
like got you know, Parliament, the old, you know, what are the Mothership Connection, what are they called, you know?
George Clinton.
Yeah, George Clinton. Well, we got Clinton. Oh my God, he cost so fucking much money. When we started looking into what these guys really cost, out of our league entirely. That's why they play the giant centers that bring in 30,000 people at a time. And it still costs a fortune to go see them. We can't afford them. We might be able to afford a Robert Plant though. Okay,
Really?
because he's playing smaller, slightly smaller venues like the Egyptian Room or something up in Indianapolis, you know. And so when we saw Ian Anderson do a thing up there too, and you went, wow, okay, this crowd is about 5,000 people at the most fitting into this space, and they're able to pay them. The tickets weren't too expensive, so there are some people we might be able to bring in as a big headliner to just do a draw. But if we specialize in smaller bands or even medium sized, most of them at the very most are getting 10 to 15. The big ones are getting $10,000 to $15,000 for an event. Papadosio is going to get about around $10,000 of an event. Then there's countless smaller bands. Oh God, $500 will play. You know, so there's all sorts of people, and a lot of them are as good as the big bands. Just no one knows them yet. You know, so. But anyway, we'd have that much in our standard budget. Then we have sideshow performers, artists, and workshop presenters. 5%. That's $18,750 per event. So, and I'll go to this map. Just really, each one of these quadrants, camping quadrants. These are camping areas. Has a dome in it and a fire circle in it. Communal fire circle in a dome. And I'll get into more detail. But that dome is big enough to, these are like workshop domes, acoustic performances, comedy skits, all smaller stuff. You can have a little mini circus, dog tricks, whatever, but the smaller stuff. So we'd have a budget for that too. So main stage might be going most of the time, but there's always side stuff happening too. So there's like at least 5 things happening because there's 4 of those centers in main stage happening at any time. So you're pretty much given choices to please just about everybody there is looking for entertainment. It's a multi-ring circus. So an $18,000 event, that buys a lot of small people. Because most small people will be happy at $500 or something, or $1,000 to do it. So.